Hi, everybody. Welcome back to In the Cards and Stars. We're going to be doing a quick sip legality session because there has been movement in the Justin Baldoni Blake Lively situation. Let's just dive right into the article. Hold on. I even have a slideshow here. All right. So Justin Baldoni's $400 million countersuit against Blake Lively and Ryan Reynolds was dismissed by a judge today, June 9th. Nine, as we know, is the energy of endings and transformation. Now, I checked Justin Baldoni's numerology to see what year he's in because you got to admit, the guy's having a horrible year. And he's in a seven personal year. That is so not surprising because he's in a seven personal year. This is also a four energy day for him. Four is about hard work and structure, looking at the foundation of things. And seven is, of course, the most spiritual year where a lot of the time we give up, or if we don't, step away from things, things are taken from us that we like from the outside world so that we can focus more on what our spiritual calling is. It can be a karmic year. Taylor Swift is also in a seven personal year. And if you'll notice, obviously, there have been amazing things that have happened this year, just recently buying back her master's karmic, good karma for her. But also before that, a lot of karmic lessons around friendships. She definitely is not as public this year as she was last year, just even around Kansas City and during football season. So a 7 year is one of those years where you go inward. So Justin Baldoni, he's really having a 7 year. You never know what could happen by the time this is all said and done. I did ask our resident lawyer Moog, to weigh in. And he said the case did seem, on Justin Baldoni's part that was dismissed, did seem very frivolous. It read more like a tabloid than an actual legal filing. So he was not surprised that this happened. And he thinks that he and his team will file something else by June 23rd. So let me read you guys just some of the high points. We're going to talk a little bit about the astrology that Justin, had today, the day that this was revealed. The astrology on any given day can tell us a lot about the energy, about what to expect, and definitely his astrology was on point for getting some bad news. I'll be honest with you guys. So we'll pull some cards after that. Let's hit the high points. Let's dive in. Justin Baldoni's $400 million countersuit against Blake Lively and Ryan Reynolds and other parties was dismissed by a judge on June 9th. The New York Times has stood by its coverage since the lawsuit, and Lively's lawyers previously called Baldoni's lawsuit vengeful. Interesting. Um, like I said, Michael also thought that it was just very strange, and it did seem like it was filed more for the tabloids. That doesn't make Blake Lively innocent by any means, but it seemed strange. It was a weird kind of filing. So again, not surprising that it was thrown out. Baldoni's lawyer previously called Lively's motion to dismiss the lawsuit an abhorrent example of abusing our legal system. In a major setback for Justin Baldoni, the It Ends With Us the director and stars countersuit against Blake Lively, Ryan Reynolds, and their publicist, as well as his lawsuit against the New York Times, have been tossed out by the judge. On May 9th, Judge Lewis Lyman granted the motion to dismiss the $400 million lawsuit filed by Baldoni and the Wayfarer parties against Lively and Reynolds, which alleged extortion and defamation, as well as the $250 million defamation lawsuit against the Times. The judge noted, though, that Baldoni's legal team can still amend the claims for breach of implied covenant and tortious interference with contract if they choose to, with a deadline of June 23rd. It's a lot of just back and forth. Something interesting that I also think is tabloid spin. Again, I do not feel that Justin or Blake are completely, innocent in all of this. So, of course, Blake's team is going to try to paint this as a major victory. Also, I saw this evening that Blake Lively was really prancing, and I will say prancing around the Chanel like Tribeca party, red carpet. It was a lot. She, was wearing this one, white dress with a jean jacket over it, and then she's smiling ear to ear, by the way. She's taking a victory lap for sure. She, saunters over, gives the jacket away, comes back, takes more photos, and I gotta tell you, I don't know, we will see what happens when we get to their actual trial date, in 2026. We'll see, but I don't know, this could just be one of the battles, maybe not the war. But here's what her team had to say, obviously heavily, heavily wanting the public to see it a certain way, wanting us to really see this as a victory. And they are laying it on thick. So Lively's lawyers, Ezra Hudson and Mike Gottlieb, call the decision a total victory. Of course, Blake Lively's lawyers are really going to play this up. Lively's lawyers, Ezra Hudson and Mike Gottlieb, call the decision a total victory and a complete vindication for the actress and the others whom Justin Baldoni and the Wayfarer parties dragged into their retaliatory lawsuits, including Ryan Reynolds, Leslie Sloan, and the New York Times. I'd say that's going a little far. That's going a little far. Basically, the judge was just saying that the things that he filed did not meet the requirements. Um, I'm not surprised though that Blake Lively's team is trying to make it look like, "Oh my gosh, everything he said was a lie. See, we won." That I mean, he still has the opportunity to prove his innocence in a court of law. So, we'll see. I mean, Blake still has to prove her side still has to prove that what they have filed is correct. So, I mean, we're really not out of the woods. It's definitely too early to claim a victory. And let's take a quick look see at Justin Baldoni's Astrology. So, what was going on the day that he got, arguably, I'd say probably some of the worst news of his life? I mean, this is pretty bad news. So, here we go. I just want this on screen so we can all check this out. Justin Baldoni, today, the day that he got this news, the day that this news was released to the public, everybody's talking about it. Definitely a huge loss for him. He had Mercury's transit opposite his natal Neptune. So, this is really intense for him because it is within an orb of 1 degree. This is going to affect his chart for sure. And he has to be careful of losing touch with reality as a result of excessive daydreaming. Neptune can be all about pulling the wool over our eyes. Neptune rules Pisces. Pisces is about overindulgence, getting carried away. This to me signals a real possibility that he could get lost in his feels today. He could get carried away by what he learned, by this news. It also can indicate that he got carried away with the lawsuit, with the filing. Like lawyer Moog said, it was strange. It was worded more like a tabloid and less like a real legal filing. So this could be a case of runaway ego and him being checked by Mercury transiting because Mercury is all about thinking clearly, communication. Mercury's not going to let you get away with some Neptunian BS when it comes to, the rubber meeting the road. So this was a reality check day for him for sure. This also talks about making sure that you can separate facts from fiction. He, like I said, he could be very lost in his head today. Definitely needs to take a step back. And as far as I know, his team has not had any sort of reply or rebuttal at this point in time, which is a good thing. Definitely this is not the time to speak out. It is the time to rethink, and it's a real come to Jesus soul search kind of time for him and his team. And this basically says that the best way to enjoy this transit is to do something escapist, go to a theater, go to a play. This is not the time to make big decisions. So, yes, confusing news, exposing the error in thinking. Absolutely. That was what was on tap for him today. Astrology in the wild moment. All right. He also had Mercury transiting trine his Pluto. Now, this leads me to believe that right after receiving the news, he probably dove deep into the paperwork of it all, really got into the emails, wanted to dig deep, find out more information, maybe even got in touch with, allegedly for entertainment purposes only, a private investigator. Because Pluto's all about going beneath the surface. It's about the taboo, not being afraid to find out the truth, all about probing and getting information. So he may he may be in the mood today or yesterday at this point. He may have been in the mood to just dive deeper. Like maybe he didn't want to go to a concert or a play. He probably decided to sit in his office and just read and research and speak with his lawyers and really try to wrap his head around this information. When it comes to taboo topics, certainly the things that they are discussing in this lawsuit are taboo topics. It's things like harassment and rumored affairs, and just a lot of salacious, taboo Plutonian topics. So I don't think that he is above really trying to get the tea in any way that he can. Um, you know, I think today was insane. I really do. I think today was a dark day for him, and I definitely think it was a wake up call. And he could have even had to have some difficult conversations with his wife. It seems like it was a really kind of a dark sort of day. Now he could use this in a way that could be beneficial for him long term. Today was definitely a battle. The war still hasn't been won. This is a long-term thing, even though Blake Lively's team is really trying to put it out there that, like, it's over, Blake's vindicated. That's not necessarily the case. Like, they still have filed a lawsuit and they still have to prove their case, and they could still fail at that, and it could be a wash, and both people just kind of have ruined their reputations for nothing. So we will see what can be proven in a court of law. But as far as the astrology in the wild moment goes, yeah, this is definitely a day of deep thought, deep communication, and really trying to turn over every rock to see if there's anything that he can use, allegedly, for entertainment purposes. Okay. And then the last thing that was going on that I think was affecting this whole situation, at least. So the transiting Venus, which is in Taurus right now, is opposite his natal Pluto in Scorpio. So today, this was exact for him given where his Pluto is located, and it's a generational planet, but it still has effect. And with an orb of 1 degree, I mean, the energy is intense. So if you are someone with, side note, with Pluto in Scorpio, just know, take some deep breaths, keep your wits about you. You've got this. But today could have been a little bit of a shakeup for you too. So for him, this was a day where he was going through very intense, revealing experiences. This could have been a time where he had to have, like I said, conversations still of that taboo nature. The fact that Venus is opposite Pluto for him does indicate that there's some tension between possibly the truth and what he would like to reveal and what the truth actually is. And this could have sparked more conversation, possibly about topics that he doesn't want to get into. So, in opposition, the tension is there for a reason. It's meant to create a breakthrough, but those breakthroughs can also be revelations of information. So there could have been information that came out within his marriage today. His wife could have had a difficult conversation with him. He could have found out some other things and I don't know, because there are text messages involved. There are so many things involved in this very complicated case that we've already gotten into in the past. So I don't really want to get into that. This is just sort of like to touch on the topics, very light tea sip. Um, but yeah, as you guys can see, I mean, fears of loss and betrayal, like these are real themes that I'm sure he was experiencing. You can't get news like this that basically knocks out his case completely. You can't receive news like that and not be afraid of a massive loss or betrayal. Financially, this puts him in a position that is obviously more difficult than if he still had this potential to make 400 million or however many millions off of this whole situation. If that was still on the table for him, he'd be able to recoup any losses. Right now, it doesn't look like that's the case. The advice from this astrology website, which I'll put the link below for as the source, um, is it's so funny. It's saying if that's the case, try to keep calm and think positively. So clearly, this is a time where he's probably not very calm, probably not thinking positively. Let's pull a couple of cards and see what comes next for the Baldoni camp, what's going to happen here. But I also, just for fun, want to pull a card for Blake Lively because I did see her prancing down the red carpet at the Chanel Tribeca Film Festival event. That was June 9th. I mean, she couldn't have been happier, you guys. I have not seen her smile this big since before all this stuff started. So, first, before we get into Justin, let's pull a card for Blake. How is Blake Lively, allegedly for entertainment purposes only, feeling tonight? Let's see if the tarot will back up the prancing that I witnessed. just pop it into your pop it into your Google search and you'll see what I'm talking about. The sun, are you kidding? When the tarot T just hits, you guys, you can't make this stuff up. She's a Leo rising. Um, the sun card. So this is like her ultimate happiness. This is already a happiness card, but being a Leo rising, I mean, ruled by the sun, this is just like, she's like, I am vindicated. It's like, okay, in Legally Blonde, when Elle Woods is like trying to see if she got on that like special team to what is it? Like that special team of lawyers where she wanted to like represent Brooke Wyndham and she's going to look because everybody was like trying to get this. And so she goes up to look on the wall to see if her name's up there. And then her name is there and she goes, me. Okay, it's that. Sorry. Took me a second to get there. But me, that's how she feels. She's like, yes, I did it. I did it. It's me. The spotlight is on me. Everything is good. Like, take that, haters. I like truly, truly, this is her vibe. Okay, interesting. What about Ryan Reynolds, allegedly for entertainment purposes only? What is Ryan Reynolds feeling after this news? 4 of Pentacles, yeah. 4 is your home life. 4 of Pentacles is disappointment in your home life, feeling a lack of stability. Something has rocked the foundation. Yeah. I mean, just because, this news was positive doesn't mean that it takes away everything that's already been broken down and destroyed. And rumors have been circulating that they're considering a divorce. I wouldn't be surprised given this 4 of Pentacles energy. So we'll see. But he's not happy. He's not pleased. This isn't like, "Oh my god, yes, like, forget everything that happened. I'm so excited." Like, no. He's like, "We're still in it." And he's a Scorpio, so he's like, "We're still in it." Like, he's not letting it go yet. Um, it's not over till it's over. He knows that for sure. How does Ryan allegedly feel towards Blake right now? 2 of Swords, yep. Should I stay or should I go? I don't know what to do. I feel like my hands are tied. If I leave her at this point, allegedly for entertainment purposes only, I'll look like a bad guy. If I stay at this point, I continue to be a part of this mess and I'm so over it. Um, and it's destroyed my reputation. I mean, it's giving narcissistic, but yeah, it's no. He's like, oh my God, I don't even want to be here. I don't want to be dealing with this. I don't think things are super warm and fuzzy behind closed doors between these 2, but she doesn't care because she's like, "I did it. Me, 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 me." So, okay. All right, Justin Baldoni. How is Justin Baldoni feeling in light of this information that has come out? How is Justin Baldoni feeling today? I think we know, but let's get the tarot T to confirm it for us. Ooh, the Page of Pentacles in reverse. Ouch, ouch, ouch. Financially, this couldn't hurt more. The Page of Pentacles on its own, it's like starting a financial, like new beginning, like wanting to make money, feeling like you have potential. But it's not like it's a King of Pentacles. So this is him. I don't know what his contract with the Wayfarer Studios looks like. I know that Wayfarer was very well funded, but Justin himself, I'm not quite sure how much, what his net worth is. I would say that compared to other people in his industry that he finds himself standing next to, he probably feels like a Page of Pentacles at times. Like, I don't think he's one of the people that has the most money in the room, but he was hopeful, I would say, that he was gonna, grow and build a legacy and all that. In reverse, this is like no hope of that right now. Those dreams are dashed. And not only that, he may even have to pay some money, or Wayfair may have to pay some money at the end of the day. Um, like her attorney's fees. Blake Lively's team mentioned that. I think this, yeah, I think this is gonna happen. So not only is he not making money, it's like this is like feeling like you're in the red. Oof, oof, oof. But money is a big concern to him. Okay. What else? What else? I just got goosebumps. So confirmation. What else? The tower. Oh my, you guys, I'm telling you, when the tarot T is just like spot on. Man, the tarot is on right now. Um, wow. Okay. And Jupiter just entered Cancer, so I was wondering if like my spidey senses were gonna. And I'm not saying this is me. I'm just speaking out loud here. Stream of consciousness. I was wondering if like maybe just not just my intuition, but everyone's intuition would be more online because water signs are the most like intuitive and psychic, especially when it comes to like emotions and things. When you're talking about Cancer. And I feel like it's a yes because this tea is just like it's so every card is so on point and it's like piping hot. Okay. That's my side note. The tower, yeah. Today it was like the worst news that he could have received. I think he feels like his whole world is crumbling. The tower. Yeah. I mean, dang. I'll say this. As you lay your head down to go to sleep tonight, just thank your lucky stars that you are not Justin Baldoni because I mean, I know that sounds harsh, but like this is like having your worst day. I mean, this is your worst day. This is his worst nightmare. The thing that I just don't think that he was expecting this to happen. I really don't. And maybe it's hubris, maybe it's just a huge ego thinking that he was going to be able to bring this all the way to court at least. But this is like feeling humiliated, like your plans have been dashed and like back to the drawing board, but you don't know what to do. Like it's the tower's on fire, you know? Not good. Not good. Wow. That with the Page of Pentacles in reverse, I would say that is probably very accurate when it comes to the way I'm sure he felt today. Okay, what about the future? What about his next steps? What are Justin Baldoni's next? Ooh, this like stuck. We're gonna take it. The Knight of Pentacles in reverse. He's gonna try in vain, I think, because it's in reverse, but he's gonna try really hard to find some way to gather more resources. Maybe he's gonna go to a mentor, someone that he's been able to count on in the past. But with the Knight of Pentacles in reverse, I don't think that's gonna pan out. He is really looking for money. And again, I don't quite know all the details, obviously, of like his financial situation. I haven't looked into it, but I just got goosebumps again. Money is his number one concern, more than even more than his reputation. I wonder if he's maybe signed some contracts, maybe he's on the hook for some things financially, or Wayfarer Studios is on the hook for some projects, that were coming up and maybe he already committed to them, but now it doesn't have the funds anymore because investors have pulled out. There's something that's really big that has changed financially and he's almost desperately, allegedly for entertainment purposes only, looking for a stable way to bring in more income. And with that Knight of Pentacles, I think it's someone who he feels is like a couple steps ahead of him because he views himself as the page, a couple steps ahead of him, like sort of like a mentor type of person who I just don't think they're going to say yes though because it's in reverse. I really don't. Okay. What about Justin Baldoni's wife, Emily Foxler? What that was her maiden name. Her name, of course, now is Emily Baldoni. She's so pretty and she just seems so sweet. It's really sad that I don't know. I feel it's very sad that she's caught up in this. How is she feeling? How is she feeling, in light of this $400 million lawsuit's dismissal? How's she feeling allegedly? The strength card in reverse, a lot of reverse cards, you guys. She's not feeling strong. She's feeling, again, she is noticing that tower crumbling. That's sad. That is sad. I know that sometimes like we all have to go through things in order to learn and to grow, but it is sad when you see people going through these types of things. Okay, so because also she's innocent in this. She had nothing to do with this. So the strength card in reverse, she's like praying for strength. She's feeling like she needs more strength to get through all of this. So obviously it's a very stressful situation. Okay, what else is coming next for Justin Baldoni, allegedly for entertainment purposes only? Man, I even tried to flip the deck so they don't keep coming through in reverse, but to no avail. The Fool card in reverse, the new beginning that he was hoping to have as a result of these like court filings. Like, I think he was really he was really of the mindset that, like, this is gonna be a new beginning for me. Like, I'm gonna take care of this. I'm gonna get back at Blake Lively, allegedly. I'm gonna take her down, allegedly. Um, this is something that I like to call with certain cases, on true crime shows and stuff. I like to call them loser on loser crime. And I know that sounds really bad, but it's like when one person is really bad doing horrible things and they commit a crime against someone else who's a really bad person doing horrible things. And that's like what this feels like to me. It's like it didn't work out because it's like two egomaniacs, and two egomaniacs with money and a team behind them. So this fool card, this was foolhardy of him to think that he was just going to be able to, do this, y- sue Blake Lively, do whatever, smear her name, and then dust off his hands, bring Taylor Swift into it, bring um, Ryan into it, and then just kind of dust off his hands and walk away with the new beginning, coming out smelling like roses and being like the most sought after actor director. No, I mean, that's not really how life works, and I don't think that you get into the position that Blake and Ryan are in without being cunning and without having, the resources that they have. He just really overestimated himself. I'll just say that he really overestimated himself. I'm not gonna mince words on that one, yeah. So, when you do that and you make a fool out of yourself, it's not good. Let's just pull one more card for Justin, how he's gonna feel, like, at the outcome of all of this. 6 of Cups in reverse. He's gotten, like, almost all reverse cards. 6 of Cups in reverse. Yeah, the loss of a soulmate. I don't know. He could end up having some, like, marital issues as a result of this or lose, like, a really important business partnership, but this is basically, like, something that was once very positive, fulfilling. 6 is about nurturing and beauty and, like, honestly, what everybody wants. His actions basically are gonna cause him to lose something or someone that is very precious to him. Oof, okay. And then Blake Lively, allegedly for entertainment purposes only. What is the card that represents her feelings and her outcome at the end of all this? The Knight of Pentacles in reverse. Oh my gosh, she got the same card as Justin Baldoni. I'm telling you, you guys, this is gonna be like a karmic wash. Like, on the other side of this, I don't think that either of them are gonna come out a winner. I know that a long time ago, when I did a reading, I believe I said there was gonna be a clear winner. I think and I don't know, I think maybe I was reading, like, one of these steps, like this like today, for example, one of the battles. Today, Blake Lively won the battle, right? Prior to that, on June 2nd, when, Blake Lively had dropped a couple of her claims because she didn't wanna have to sign off on allowing, Justin Baldoni to have access and his team to have access to her HIPAA, all of her records, all of her medical records to prove emotional distress. That day would have been a win for Justin Baldoni. He won that battle that day. I mean, this is like a long, drawn out series of multiple battles culminating in, like, one big war, right? So I don't know. It was very complicated. And also, by the way, when I was doing those readings in the very beginning, I would get one outcome one day, a different outcome the other day. And the reason I think that now, today, given this reversal card for her that mirrors the card I just got for him, I think the reason for that is because neither of them will come out a clear winner, and there will be multiple steps, multiple battles that I like each team is gonna try to spin to be like, "Oh my gosh, see, we won. See, we were in the right. We're vindicated." And then something will happen next week, or Justin Baldoni will amend the filing by the 23rd. And mark my words, you guys, they're gonna come out and be like, "This was a big win for us today." And like we were able to like they're just gonna keep spinning and keep spinning and keep spinning it. And then by the end of all of this, when it's all said and done, I think that both will have suffered massive career losses. I don't think either will be welcomed onto a set in the future. And I think that it was like mutual self-destruction. That's what it seems like. Kind of like Trump and Elon, mutual self-destruction. That seems to be a theme right now. And not too surprising with Mars and Pluto in opposition right now. It's like the two most intense egomaniacal warring planets are just like in opposition in a gridlock right now. So this week, if nothing else, if you hear nothing else from me this week, make like the temperance card and just keep it cool, calm, and collected. I know there's a lot going on in the world. I can't just like not address it. It's important, I think, to also, acknowledge these things, even though this is our little escape. And that's what I want it to be for all of us. But I do just want to say, astrologically, there's a lot going on in the sky this week. It's intense. It's really intense. We're going to get into the good things happening this week on Patreon in a couple of videos that I have coming out that I really love. I'm so excited. I do have another live stream coming up this week. We're talking about Sabrina Carpenter. We're talking about Justin Bieber. Like, so much fun, so much good stuff. So I don't want to be like a Debbie Downer right now. But I will say, because of those two planets I just mentioned being in a gridlock, I just want everybody to like, don't rush, don't drive too fast. You're fine. Everything's gonna be fine. I promise. Remind yourself of that if you get stressed out, if you start to get anxious or angry, um, go for a walk, lift some weights, put on some great music. We have to channel our energy in productive, positive ways. Go volunteer somewhere, make yourself feel useful. This is what is most important right now, okay? Because if we don't channel the energy, we see that things are happening, and it's not, it's just, it's an intense time. Anyway, we'll talk about that more later this week. But I love you guys so, so much. Thank you for joining me. What do you guys think about this tea? What do you think about Justin Baldoni? What do you think about Blake Lively? Were you surprised by any of this? Like, spill it. Spill it. I want to know. Okay. I love you guys so much. Thanks for being here. If you haven't subscribed yet, please subscribe. And will you give this video a like if you enjoyed it? That would mean so much to me. And okay, I'll see you next time. Talk to you soon.